Now, list of aspirants jostling for the 2023 presidential ticket continues to swell. Now, a former president of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, has signified interest to contest the 2023 presidential election. And another aspirant is the former governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha, who also declared his intention to vie for the country's #1 job. Now, while Saraki declared his intention on social media, Okorocha made clear his desire to run for the presidency on the floor of the Senate. So, Babajide, now with the likes of Senator Saraki and Okorocha and other political bigwigs joining the fray to contest the presidential elections, what do you make now of the caliber of these presidential aspirants, given the fact that some Nigerians are yearning for true visionary leaders and not some of those old politicians that has been at the helm of affairs for quite some time now?
But the truth is, even some of the politicians who have been around for some time, some of them are capable of providing the right leadership.
What makes you say so?
Yeah, because of their track record. Asiwaju, for example, has been around for quite some time, although he has not had the opportunity to lead Nigeria. But I'm convinced that you are talking about visionary leadership. He's one of the best around. And I'm not saying this to patronize him. You know, I don't have to patronize him. I've not seen him since 2018. I don't go to his house. He doesn't tell me what to say on the program. I'm just saying the truth. And it shows, because when you look at Lagos, the things that he initiated in Lagos, in other states, they are beginning to copy those things. It was Asiwaju that brought the idea of independent power to our country with Enron. If not for our laws that say if we generate power and it's above like 50 megawatts, you have to feed it into the national grid. Every state should be able to generate its own power and make it available for its citizens. If that had been the case, by now Lagos would have been having 24 hours of uninterrupted power supply. Look at BRT, for example. It was Tinubu's idea. In fact, the vehicles had already been ordered. It was when Fashola now came that he implemented it fully. It was Asiwaju's idea to have BRT, and that's another first in our country. Today, I know that Kano State is planning to do something like BRT. I know. Talk about traffic management, LASMA. That's something that that's another idea that he came up with. Today, if you go to Kano, in fact, their own version of LASMA is much more, in terms of its no-nonsense character. It's much more dreaded than even LASMA. They call them Karota. You dare not mess with Karota in Kano. That's an idea that the man came up with. So, in terms of ideas that make a country greater, people like him are still there. Nigeria has never lacked people who have got the intellect to lead us. But the problem is, do they always get the chance? The answer is no. Everyone knows that Awolowo, for example, had ideas, ahead of his time. But he never got the chance to be president. And after he died, they started calling him the best president Nigeria never had. Even some of his worst enemies who made sure that he never became president, they were the ones saying Awo was the best president Nigeria never had. Because of the first that the Southwest that Awo presided over came up with. The television station, the Liberty Stadium, even Cocoa House, and what's it called? An estate. The first big estate that our country will see. This man came up with a free education. He was brimming with ideas, but he never got a chance.
So
it's not the age of the people that really matters, but the quality of ideas that they've got.
Okay.
So some old people have bright ideas. So some young people can deliver. So it's not, you may have been seeing some politicians for so long, but if they had not been given the chance to serve as president, for example, or even as senator, you will never be able to determine whether they will do an excellent work. Look at Nasir Zaradin. People are praising him that he's doing well in Kaduna. Nasir Zaradin was not a politician from the beginning. He was headhunted into BPE and then served. Obasanjo made him minister of FCT. But you can see the experience. He was a consultant. He was in the private sector, the quantity surveyor. The experience that he garnered in public service, all of them have helped him to be one of the best governors of his generation.
So in other words, experience counts now in this case if anyone is seeking
experience counts. Then bright ideas count. I'm saying that if you can marry all of that together, you have bright ideas and you have the right people to work with you. IBB had some very brilliant people working with him, Professor Omar Bogunje and the rest of them. And he achieved a lot. We may not like him as an individual, but we can point at a lot of things that he did. Nobody can say that he didn't do this. The first dual carriageway in northern Nigeria, stretching from Abuja to Kano, it was IBB's work. Nobody can say he didn't do it. We may hate him because he annoyed June 12 and some of the other bad things that he did. But that was what he did in his time. So if you also have the right people around you, you may not be bright as an individual, but if you have people who are bright around you, your own limitations will not show, and those people will help you to become a good leader. So the good leader is the leader who can bring the right people together to help him, and Asiwaju did that here. Yes, this is not simply about Asiwaju. So I'm saying that the likes of
Okorocha and
Saraki. Okorocha also did well in Imo State. He is the architect of modern Imo State. Again, he has his excesses. No one can deny.
Right.
But you can't go to Imo if you have not been to Imo for years and you went there after the Okorocha years. You will see the imprimatur of Okorocha, the good things that he did. You know, opening up Owerri to other the communities around it, you know, and the network of roads, hospitals, and all that he did. Yeah, no politician is perfect, but it's possible that when a person gets a chance to serve at a higher level, he can even take his qualities a notch higher. So that's what I'm saying, that let's not dismiss people that they've been around for so long, they can't make the difference. I've seen people like Mohalu. He contested the last election. I'm convinced that if Mohalu gets a chance to serve, or a Donald Duke, who was one of the youngest governors of the 1999 set, no one can convince me that Donald Duke will not do well as president of Nigeria if he gets the chance, because he's full of ideas. So we may have been saying some people for so long, it doesn't mean that if they get a chance to serve, that they won't do well. No. And I admit that there could be some young people too who will do better than these people. But at the end of the day, let people come out, show what they've got, and the voters will decide.
Well, incidentally, BC, Senator Okorocha, we understand, is one of the prominent presidential aspirants for the Southeast, and Southeast, we know, has been agitating for the presidency. Now, do you think Okorocha has that popularity, as it were, to garner that support to clinch the coveted job as being the president of the country?
Well, I wouldn't say I don't know. Really, I don't know, because the APC primary will determine that. Okay, because as it is, everybody is an aspirant,
right.
And it is at the primary that the party delegates will decide who they think is most popular to actually get them the ticket if they want to continue in government by 2023. Yeah, but looking at the issue you are trying to bring up about the
agitations of the Southeast.
Agitation of the Southeast, I think it is legitimate. They are part of Nigeria, and they have every right to also become the president, for one of them to become a president in Nigeria. But then you see, politics is not as straightforward as the fact that because you have a right to become something, you get it. It's a game of numbers, and this number has to come to play. It is either if you don't have the number, can you get the numbers by working with other parts of the country in order to be able to make it to the top? You know, these are the issues. It's not just presidency is not served as a la carte, and whichever way we want to look at it, we may say, okay, this they want to become, and I also agree that they should, you understand, but then it goes beyond that. So for people like Senator Okorocha, it's good that he's in there, and I'm sure that many other people will still come in, and there are so many other people since Asiwaju declared his interest, you could see that the political space suddenly just opened up. Everybody was just everywhere. Yes, exactly. So I guess many other people, even from other political parties from the Southeast, will still come out. You know, you hear names like Ohabua, even though he has not publicly declared
his intention.
Yes. So I'm sure that, and I'm sure that Obi is also still there, still not seeing his ambition and all of that. So maybe the two will come out and all of that. So I can only wish whoever is coming out right now the best of luck. In their endeavors.
Including the perennial contestants.
Yes.
Perennial contestants. By whom do you want? Okay, let's take this call. Barnabas is online. Please go ahead with your contribution, Barnabas.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Babajide. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Barnabas.
Well, sir. Good job, sir.
Thank you.
And my contribution is this. I think APC are not willing to learn from the past. They lost Bayelsa, they lost Zamfara due to things like this. And now they are making the coast very clear for PDP. PDP is getting an easy ride, except if they call a stakeholders meeting as fast as possible to talk to the aggrieved aspirants, or else PDP will take Ekiti as easier than we all thought. Now, on the issue of Rochas Okorocha and Saraki, so I'm sorry to ask you this question. You talked about Ashwaju, you talked about Okorocha. I was ready to talk about Saraki, being the youngest for now.
Saraki is a very bright guy. You know, when you listen to him, he's a bright guy. And I may not like his politics, but if you get a chance to sit with him, you know that he's full of ideas. Whether he can translate those ideas to solid governance is an answer blowing in the wind. But again, sometimes the team that you have determines how successful you are. You may not be excellent at what you do, but your team, if you have a fantastic team, they will do wonders. As much as we mock Abacha for his greed, Abacha achieved a lot. Abacha achieved a lot, and it was also because he had some people who are very good on his team. So for these people, it's down to the people to work with them. Who would have Fashola, for example, as a minister of works, despite the limitations in terms of financing and all that? We've seen what Fashola has been able to do. You know, he did it in Lagos, he's doing it at the national level. So if we have people like that, we'll find the right people, the best that we can lay our hands on, and we build a cabinet of bright people, forward-thinking people, you know, patriots, not people out simply to steal money and then pretend to the rest of us that they are Puritans. If we get such people, Nigeria will be taken to the next level.
Final thoughts, BC, on this matter before we wrap the show.
I agree with him. We just need forward-looking people, and I also think that the old politicians should also bring in new people and mentor younger generation, knowing that they are not going to be there forever. So I'm expecting that in the current dispensation, the younger ones should also be encouraged to come in so that people can work together and we have a better Nigeria.